I've liked Star Wars since I was like 8 years old because prior to that, my dad loved Star Wars and he'd watch one of them all the time. I don't remember. I have a very, very vague recollection of times when I was like a fucking toddler.
Yeah.
But I do remember that Darth Vader scared the shit out of me.
Really?
Yeah, I was terrified of this fucking black masked, heavy breathing, like lightsaber wielding, force choking son of a bitch. I was deathly afraid of that guy.
Yeah.
I was like 1, 2, somewhere around there. I had no idea.
Right.
Whatever, right? But by the time I was 8, I finally put all that, oh man, that guy scares me, behind me. And it was like, fucking, let's watch the fucking Star Wars. So we went and rented like VHSs of the original movies and watched those. And I was like, man, this shit's good as dicks. So, since then I was like, fuck yeah, Star Wars. And then they were like, hey, Hasbro's doing, or sorry, Kenner? Was it still Kenner? Was Kenner owned by Hasbro by then? I don't remember. Anyway, one of them was like, Power of the Force, Star Wars action figures. And I was like, bitchin', Obi-Wan Kenobi, Luke Skywalker, I got a land speeder, so I could do this shit. Me and my friends, we'd fucking gather like Millennium Falcon, Slave One, fucking everything, out in like the yards and shit like that. And we'd have like dirt areas where we'd have like fucking Tatooine type scenes and swamps for like Dagobah for like Luke and Yoda training and shit. And we'd just have a fucking blast with these things, right? And then they were like, 99 rolled around and they're like, new Star Wars. And I was like, wait, what? Here I am, fucking high school now. I'm like, new Star Wars? Fucking cool, right?
Yeah.
Go see the movie. I'm like, man, what the hell was that? And then I got, second. I enjoyed my first viewing of Attack of the Clones, despite thinking the name was stupid.
Yeah.
Right? I enjoyed my first viewing of it mostly because I just kind of like turned my brain off during the Anakin and Padme relationship scenes.
Yeah.
And then
The terrible CGI pair.
we always bring that fucking pair up. It was so bad. And then, I bought maybe a few of the figures because I liked Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan, so I had like an Obi-Wan figure. And, I don't think I ever owned a Hayden Christensen figure. Ever. I had some battle droids, though, because I needed, troop builders.
Yeah.
And maybe some clone troopers and shit like that, right? And the third movie, I got a new Obi-Wan from that because, he was getting closer to looking like Alec Guinness. He had the haircut right, and he had the big beard and everything else, right? It all was going well. And so, that movie, best of the prequels by default, because the previous two were terrible for Revenge of the Sith. That movie was still not great. And then, they had their various, other media and stuff, your Clone Wars cartoon, like the actual cartoon. Yeah. Which was amazing. And then they had the CG one, which a lot of it was really good. But yeah, so now here we are, and they're like, new Star Wars, and there's me, remembering back to when I was in fucking high school, being like, new Star Wars, fuck yeah! And then being like, upon seeing fucking episode 1. And so I'm like, is it gonna happen again? I've been whipped before. Don't want to do it again. But yeah, no, fuck, we went to the theater and it was like, you know what? For recovering a lot of the fucking plot points of the original movie, just to kind of, be like, hey, we can actually make Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like, fucking good movie.
Yeah.
Enjoyed the shit out of it.
Yeah. My history with Star Wars is I probably saw them as a kid. I loved the idea of like spacefaring and lightsabers and shit like that. Thought it was cool. But I honestly don't really have a memory of super enjoying the original trilogy as a kid.
Ooh, I also played the fuck out of the Super Nintendo games.
That's something I never actually played either. I have them.
Yeah,
but
saying. We'll have to change that.
Yeah.
Actually, no, those games are fucking tough.
Yeah.
Like, those games will fucking kick you in the face and then, stick their dick in your teeth. Or something. I don't know.
That just sounds bad for them.
Well, your teeth are already knocked out by this point.
Oh, just on the ground.
Yeah, they're just slapping your teeth around, playing hockey with your teeth. It's a bad analogy. Just never fucking mind.
Moving on. What the fuck was I saying?
I don't know. Dick teeth, the new sport. Star Wars talk. Dick teeth. Whatever.
Yeah, when episode 1 came out, Actually, me and my family saw all three of the prequels in theaters. And as a kid, I was like, what, 12 or something when I saw it, maybe even younger. I enjoyed it for what it was. But I remember specifically sitting in the theater watching that pair scene and just being like,
What?
oh, it's terrible. Padme's cute, though.
I did watch the special editions of the original trilogy in the theaters as well.
Really?
Yeah. That made me sort of happy because I got to see them, but at the same time, because I had watched the VHSs so many fucking times, all of the new changes to the movie, I was like, the hell is this?
Yeah.
I mean, some of it made sense, like the new flying by scenes of different ships and stuff, to, look a little bit better.
It's so out of place for me.
It is. Like, it is. It really
even
is.
Even, the little extra, creatures on, the planets and stuff.
Well, when I was younger, I saw that stuff and I'm like, yeah, okay, that kind of makes sense. Nowadays, I look at that stuff and I'm like, but the practical effects look so much more real.
Yeah. I would actually not be opposed. I would not be opposed to someone going back with the practical effects they're using now and redoing the redo of the old ones with practical effects, film them on the same type of film they filmed before so it matches up nicely, or at least filter it or something. Because it was sort of this nice 70s film coloring to it, and then fucking bright Jabba in bright green.
Yeah, I mean, they did reskin him later on to make him look more worn and scaly. And yeah, I mean, they went back and fucked with those movies 4 or 5 times, right? There was the original 90s special editions where they used 90s CG to try and kind of, make everything look a little better, and ultimately failed.
Yeah.
But they went back a few more times and they touched up some of the stuff that they'd done in the 90s that didn't look very good. Just to try and kind of have one, as George Lucas would have put it, one perfect version of the film, which ultimately the original film was the perfect version of the film. But whatever. Thankfully, George Lucas is, out to pasture now.
Yeah.
Sitting there talking about how Disney's white slavers and stuff like that. He's apologized for that now, but that's still,
wow.
Goddamn.
Anyways, new one's good.
I am surprised. I am legitimately surprised by something.
What's up?
I do not yet own a physical piece of merchandise from the new film. I am a consumer whore.
Yeah, you are.
Right? I consume everything. Yeah, we'll go with that. But I mean, I collect fucking toys and shit from everything I see pretty much, right? Mm-hmm. I like a Kamen Rider series. I at least get a figure or a prop replica. Well, not prop replica, DX toy or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I Transformers, all the Transformers, right? Fucking
all of them.
Yeah, I've got shit from Clone Wars. I've got shit from all kinds of different Star Wars media that's released good figures and stuff. I own sonic screwdrivers from Doctor Who. I don't own a damn thing from The Force Awakens except those fucking Subway cups. That's all I've got.
All of those, though.
I do have all of those, and I'm working on getting multiples of the Stormtroopers so I can have an army of Stormtrooper cups. Dude, I don't know why.
We could have, how many?
Stormtrooper beer pong.
I was just going to say, you could have, Stormtroopers on one side and, the good side of the cast on the other side.
Yeah, I mean, there's Chewie, Rey, Finn, BB-8, and that's 4 of the 6 cups. Other than that, we've got, the Troopers and Kylo Ren. And
Kylo Ren would be at the front of the... Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm disappointed there's no Captain Phasma cup. Also no Han Solo cup. Also no Poe Dameron cup.
Oh, yeah. That seems like one that would be in there. Yeah. I can understand the Phasma one because she was there for about 45 seconds.
Oh, I hope she comes back, though.
Oh, I'm sure she will be.
But yeah, when we were in the Disney store the other day... you weren't there, but...
I was not there.
No, but we went to the Disney store. They've got these, Elite Series die-cast figures.
I think I saw those, yeah.
They're, fucking, that big or something like that, but they're heavy as fuck, right? Because a lot of them is, die-cast construction.
Right.
Which I'm not usually a big fan of. There was this thing called the Titanium line in Transformers where they used a bunch of die-cast and shit, and it was kind of fucking terrible.
Right.
But... I feel like toy engineering nowadays is maybe a bit better than back in those days. And I mean, they looked okay. The sculpting looked okay. The accessories looked okay. Everything like that, right? And plus, they were nice and fucking hefty. I kind of really wanted the Captain Phasma.
Yeah.
Because I just feel like a character that large in bulky armor should be that fucking heavy,
Yeah.
right? And also they had like first order stormtroopers and stuff, and I would love to. I mean, they're like fucking $25-$30 a pop though. There's no way in hell. There's no way in hell I'm going to be buying a whole bunch of those, right?
Yeah.
I really want to find like.
Do they have all the characters in that?
They have. Hashtag Where's Ray?
Seriously?
They have one. It does exist. There just weren't any at the store.
They probably all sold out. That's probably why.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Fucking. The thing is, like, not to completely skew off topic, but that fucking Where's Ray hashtag they've got trending about, oh, you know, all these Star Wars figures, no Ray merchandise, blah, blah, blah. You know why that is, right?
Must have been all sold out.
Not even just all sold out. Like, she is surprisingly, because the trailers would never fucking, you know, allude to it, basically the protagonist. She is
for sure.
Yeah,
I never had a
right?
second doubt about that.
Yeah, the trailers all make it out to be like, oh, Finn's this big deal and everything, and Rey's just kind of along for the ride. But then she fucking takes the reins. She's like, no, I'm fucking top dog in this fucking movie. I'm the best.
Well, she's the Luke of the movie.
Yeah, she's awesome. Like, there's no disputing. She's awesome. Her toys are obviously the most popular because she's strong female character, fucking Star Wars, you know, first ever, like, female lead for a Star Wars, like, everything, right? Like, so her toys are the most popular, the most sought after. And that's where toy scalpers come in. These are people who, like, will memorize the restock schedules of stores so that they can get in before shit is even unpacked and put out on the shelves. Go to the stock room and be like, hey, you know, you got any of these? Cool, I'll take all of them.
Yeah.
Right? And then fucking hawk them for fucking twice, 3 times what they're fucking worth on eBay or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And so people are going around and they're all like just assuming that these figures aren't there. And they're, you know, searching Target, they're searching Toys R Us, they're searching Walmart, they're searching everything, right? And they're not finding any of these fucking Rays, and they're just assuming that they don't exist. Assuming that the character of Rey has been effectively issued from all fucking toy merchandise, right? Like, yeah, she's not in the Millennium Falcon set. That is a disappointment. Absolutely. She's not in that 6-pack of figures, but I mean, you need a mix of good and bad people, right? You know, and it's got, what is it? Got like fucking Chewbacca, Finn. I don't fucking remember. Rey could have been in it, but they could have easily, like, swapped her out for someone else. Whatever. There are single-carded figures of Rey. There are higher articulation figures of Rey. They're all out there. And just as I was saying with these fucking diecast figures, the figure of Rey does not exist. Does exist. I did not fucking see one.
Yeah.
I saw a bunch of Finns, saw a bunch of Kylo Rens masked and unmasked, saw fucking Phasma, Stormtroopers, Flame Troopers, right? Like, I saw Poe Dameron, I saw all of these. Did not see a single Rey. The figure comes packaged with BB-8 as well, which is another thing to fucking bump up the popularity, right?
Right.
You want to get BB-8, you want to get Rey, so you get them both in the same fucking package, and those sell immediately.
Definitely, yeah.
Right?
BB-8's probably actually the most popular.
Oh yeah, easily. That's why they made a fucking Sphero app-controlled droid of him.
Yeah.
Which I kind of would like to get, but at the same time, I kind of just don't use my phone for shit like that.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know. But anyway, my point is that the Where's Ray hashtag is just kind of, not everything's being taken into account. People are just kind of taking what they see at face value and just assuming that the things don't exist because they can't find them.
I think it's less about that. I know for certain there's people that don't realize that when there's no Rey in the store, that doesn't mean she didn't exist. I know that there are people genuinely believe that. But I think it still is important, simply from the perspective that a lot of toys will just not have the female characters in. Like Black Widow being completely absent and that sort of thing. So
yeah, the only time that Black Widow, for instance, got any fucking love in anything, it was the Lego sets.
Yeah.
And even there, they kept her in, but they swapped her position.
Really?
Yeah. Scene in Age of Ultron where she fucking drops out in the motorcycle and bombs off from the fucking jet, right?
Yeah.
The Lego set does include her, so you can recreate that.
Yeah.
On the package, however, it's got her flying the jet and Captain America on the motorcycle.
Really?
Yeah. But I mean, it does include the figure. You can still recreate it how it happened in the movie.
Yeah.
So that's at least a thing.
That is a thing.
The Millennium Falcon set for The Force Awakens from Lego does come with Rey and features her sitting in the fucking pilot seat.
Right.
Right? It's also got Finn in the co-pilot seat, which is weird because it comes with Chewbacca. Whatever. Fucking just whatever. But yeah, no, I mean, like, the thing about it is so many people are getting on this Where's Rey thing, and maybe that means the distribution of the Rey figures might actually increase.
Yeah.
That'd be nice, so that people will actually find them. I personally would actually like to find, especially the diecast one that comes with BB-8. I would get the shit out of that figure. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Right? But it just kind of bugs me that it just seems to be coming from a position of sort of almost a position of ignorance.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's sort of what. Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Like, ignorant people claiming ignorance on the behalf of others.
Yeah. And there's validity to that, and there's also invalidity to it, given that she's there, but she's so popular that it's selling out, but she's not everywhere she should be.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, she's definitely the one is that Millennium Falcon set. She needs to be in that.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Right. But the fact is, like, the figures exist in multiple scales and multiple price points and multiple levels of articulation, and they're just all gone because everybody is fucking buying them and throwing them. You can go and find one on eBay right now, like the single-carded figure that's like a fucking $10, $12 figure.
Yeah.
You can go buy one right now on, like, eBay or Amazon if you want to spend $45, $50.
Yeah.
It's a fucking joke.
Yup.
I'm a toy collector. How can you tell?
So, what brought us into that?
The fact that I don't own a single piece of merchandise from this fucking film.
Oh, yeah.
Because the film is good, and you would think that by now... I mean, it's mostly because fucking holiday seasons, being at work all the goddamn time, and when not being at work, being far too fucking broke from everything else to actually go and get something.
Yeah.
I still haven't even bought anybody any fucking Christmas presents. I'm going to. It's a thing that I'm going to do. It's going to be late, obviously, because it's 2016 now and definitely past Christmas. But, I mean, I got to wait for my big paycheck, the one that has both Christmas and New Year's weeks on it, right?
Yeah.
Where I worked extra hours and shit like that.
Yeah.
It's just, it's fucking tough, especially, like, the thing that got it was, like, when my hours got unexpectedly cut down, like, a lot for November. Like, I gained some of that back in December, but I wasn't really seeing any signs of it. Yeah, because, I mean, I had everything planned out perfectly, not taking into account that cut, where I would have been able to do Christmas just fine, keep up with all my bills just fine, everything would have been great. Then that shit happened, and then I'm having to fucking pinch money from here and there, right?
Yeah.
But I still had that fucking Devastator purchase that I had saved, that I had all a bunch of stuff saved up for, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's one of those things, though, that, like, once those Devastators are gone, they are gone for good, and that if I want to get one, it's going to cost me, at least double.
Yeah.
And I love that figure, but I do not $600 love that figure.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, that's a thing.
Anyways, Force Awakens.
Force Awakens. It was good.
It was
and
great.
We've got a rant in there.
Yeah.
I think
we got a number of rants in there.
Yeah. That might be segment, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I think we should talk about what we want next from it.
Agreed. Okay. Segment 2.5, because the original segment was too short?
Sure.
Okay. Segment 2.5. What do we want to see moving on, going on from Star Wars? I mean, obviously, JJ's not coming back for the next one.
He's producing.
He's producing, but I mean, he's not, like... The thing that I think made the movie as good as it was the fact that JJ fucking stripped it down to bare bones Star Wars. He's like, what is Star Wars?
Yeah.
And he produced a movie that is Star Wars.
And
right?
I hope that they can take from that and continue down a different path being Star Wars, because obviously the first one was beat for beat.
Well, yeah.
And I'm hoping that the next one's not beat for beat. It
kind of had to be.
Yeah.
It kind of had to be.
I agree. It had to be what it was in order to please everyone the way it did.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping that we can please everyone now that they know it's Star Wars again.
Mm-hmm.
That we can please them without going beat for beat Empire.
Yeah, we can't just repeat history. Like, like I said, JJ stripped it down. He's like, what makes Star Wars? This is what makes Star Wars cool. Boom, here's Star Wars. And everybody's like, yes, that is absolutely Star Wars. From there, hopefully they can branch off into a new direction, because now we're invested in it. We know it's okay, right? We know that it's not the prequels.
Yeah.
Right? We have places to go, characters to see, story arcs to complete, characters to revisit. Captain Phasma, please come back. I like that armor. It's fucking chrome-ass Stormtrooper armor. It's badass,
it's
okay?
Awesome. I agree. That's the only reason I have to like that character, though. There's literally nothing of her in it. So.
Oh, they make her out to be such a badass in the fucking trailers, and pretty much all of the scenes you see of her in the trailers are like all of her scenes in the movie except for one.
Yeah. And then there's the traitor guy.
Oh, that guy's blown the fuck up on the internet. Holy shit.
They were just like, give the stormtrooper some batons or something. And all of a sudden, that was great.
Yeah, well, I mean, everybody's implying like a sort of unspoken past between this faceless stormtrooper and Finn.
Oh.
Because, he screams out to Finn, traitor! And he's like, what? And he's like, yeah, you're the fucking traitor stormtrooper. I'm gonna take your ass down.
I was gonna say, was he Finn's friend in the beginning? But he died, didn't he? Finn's friend.
That might have been Finn's friend. Apparently there's some backstory involving, like, Finn being, like, the top member of a squad of stormtroopers, but he cared too much, or something like that. And that's why Phasma had such high hopes for him.
Right.
But ultimately...
just ended up doing sanitation.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. But apparently, that's why he's like a crack shot and everything else like that, because he's really good. Probably due to the Force sensitivity that I suspect him of, having.
Yeah.
But, so it's theorized by some that this fucking baton-spinning fucking stormtrooper is one of Finn's old squad or something like that, right? But mostly it's speculation, right? Like, nothing's really confirmed or denied, right? But the internet loves him.
Yeah.
And he's actually already got a figure from Hot Toys coming out.
Actually?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
They actually have, like, Finn with a lightsaber, and then the fucking, they call him, like, a riot control stormtrooper or something like that. So he's got, like, the riot shield, which he throws off in the movie when he pulls the baton out. He's got the baton, it extends and everything else, right? Yes. Like, and they show, like, a few scenes of them, like, in battle and whatnot, recreating the shot from the movie. So, yeah, that First Order Stormtrooper with the fucking baton, already getting a figure from Hot Toys.
It'd be great if they had a Stormtrooper figure where you pull the helmet off and it's Daniel Craig.
I would love that.
That'd be great.
In fact, I would get, like, if I had all the fucking money in the world to buy Hot Toys figures, because they're like fucking $300 a pop.
Are they really?
Right? Oh, they're really expensive, right? But if I had all that money, actually the first thing I would get would be the Phil Coulson Hot Toys figure, because I fucking love that, but that's another thing entirely. No, I would get a First Order Stormtrooper, and I bet you they've got Hot Toys James Bond, right? Probably. And I would just head swap with Daniel Craig and be like, boom, there's the Stormtrooper that let Rey out of her fucking bonds. Boom. Done.
Oh, that'd be great.
I'd like have him dropping his gun. Like, that's how I'd pose him, just dropping his gun.
Yeah.
Like, and I will leave my weapon.
Yeah. So, Rey. Mm-hmm. Who do you think Rey is?
I'm gonna go with, she's either Luke's, or somehow related to Obi-Wan Kenobi.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I still feel...
because Obi-Wan was alone for a lot of years on Tatooine, right? He was still, oh, Jedi Order, we can't love, blah, 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 right? But
he was still Ewan McGregor.
Yeah. He was still Ewan McGregor, yeah. I mean, who's to say he didn't get shit-faced at a bar one night, knock some broad up? I don't know, whatever, right? No, but seriously, I don't think, because Leia, sensitive to the Force, right? Han Solo, not sensitive to the Force. Sensitive to lightsabers, not sensitive to the Force. Anyway. Too soon? But Leia, sensitive to the Force. Rey, overflowing with fucking Force power.
I thought you were going to say midichlorians.
No. Yeah, she's just oozing midichlorians out of every pore. They just fucking... No, that is a bad word. Where I come from, midichlorians is a 4-letter word. It'd be impossible to spell it that way, but it is. Just trust me. Anyway, but Leia being exceptionally Force sensitive, Rey being just overflowing with the power of the Force, so much so that she can fucking turn it on people who've been trained to use it when she hasn't. There would be more of a connection if they were more related, right? Like, if she was Kylo's sister, for instance, and Han and Leia were her parents, there would be more recognition there. Leia would be able to sense the power of her own child and know who the fuck that it was.
That's a good point, I guess.
Right? So I really don't think, I mean, they might still go that direction, but I really don't think, given what we know, that she is, Kylo Ren's sister, Han and Leia's daughter, right?
Yeah.
They don't really make any mention to them having another child.
Yeah, I also, see, the only thing that makes me think that it could be Luke's daughter is just the way that she interacted with the lightsaber.
Mm-hmm.
But, that is totally plausible being, Han's daughter. Mm-hmm. Or Leia's daughter, I guess.
Yeah.
Given the blood connection there.
Yeah.
But I am not sold on the way that Kylo fought with her and just completely pretty much gave up on it without him having a specific connection to her already. And I guess that could be any connection. But I'm seeing sister because the way he fought her was pretty much absently. There was almost no fight. And he is apparently this incredibly force powerful guy.
Well,
and
I mean, he started off whooping her ass pretty hard. Right? Well, chasing her around while she was escaping and whatnot,
yeah.
right? When it finally came to it, though, they're saber clashing, right? And he's like, you need to be trained. I could train you, right? You know what she does? She's like, now I can whoop your ass. She, downloaded in the Matrix how to fucking lightsaber fight. Or,
yeah.
She basically, closed her eyes, opened herself up to the Force, and she's like, I know what I need to do now. Your ass is down. Right? I don't think it was a change in Kylo. I think it was a change in her. I don't think it was he recognized her as a sister or something. I think it was because you see her do that focus and go. She's learning her Force abilities, and every time you see her suddenly get more powerful, when she tries to Jedi mind trick Daniel Craig, right? Mm-hmm. She can't do it. Then she stops. She focuses for a second. Boom, she can Jedi mind trick. I guess her powers are growing exponentially. She's sitting there doing terribly in this fight, then she closes her eyes, focuses, listens to the Force or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And comes back out of it okay, this is how we do things, right?
I guess I'm discounting the idea that she could be so good with the Force without being trained in it. I don't know, I just never even thought about it that way, which makes her extremely special then, I guess.
Well, and here's the other thing, she doesn't even realize what she's doing is using the Force until Kylo actually mentions that she's, actually pretty strong in the Force, right? Yeah. She's like, oh, that's the Force? Right? She's kind of like, oh, I'm using the Force? Oh, fuck, that makes everything so much clearer. And then she's like, okay, Jedi mind trick. And the guy's like, no. And she's like, Jedi mind trick. And he's like, oh, yeah, sure, right? And then it's lightsaber fight. It's lightsaber fight. And then, lightsaber fight, right?
Yeah.
I really think everybody's got this whole idea of what's going on there. I really think she's just tapping into it.
Yeah.
Right?
She has a valve that just lets the Force flow in when she focuses on it.
Yeah, that's how I see it happening, right? Yeah. That's how I see that scene.
I have to rewatch it.
So I'm gonna rewatch it soon, anyways. I think we should probably find a day and go.
Yeah.
But so yeah, that's why I don't think. Plus, she gets close enough to hug Leia while Leia's like, "Oh, Han Solo is dead," and Rey shows up, and it's like, and people are like, "That's because it's mother and daughter," and I'm like, "Well, no, that's because she was there and knows that fucking hurt like a bitch."
Yeah.
Right. Plus, you think they get that close, mourning over the same guy that she saw killed and Leia felt killed, there would be oh, holy shit, you're my daughter, if that was the fucking case, right? Yeah. So, I'm saying it's a possibility Luke's daughter, right? Luke could have easily fathered a child before he took off,
I guess.
Right? Or...
How long ago was that technically, though? But, before that? Before the end of the movie? How long ago was it that Luke went missing?
Okay, so it was after Kylo turned, because it was his betrayal and slaughtering of Luke's Jedi.
Oh, so it wouldn't have been that long.
Yeah.
Just a few years.
Yeah, it would have only been, I'd say, 5 years tops.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. I don't know why I thought that it was way longer.
Yeah, because I mean, like we had it. He moved off to go train new Jedi, right? And how's the camera, by the way?
It's fine.
Okay, cool. Just checking, just making sure. Don't wanna get mid rant and lose it again.
Yeah, our camera turns off every like 17 to 19 minutes because it sucks.
Yeah. So, yeah, like Luke took like end of Jedi. Luke's like, okay, I am the last of the Jedi. I must train the new Jedi. The galaxy must be safe, right? Mm-hmm. You know, I must go. My people need me, right? Whatever. Starts seeking out new Force sensitives, training them, everything else. Han and Leia have a kid. They're like, hey, here's a kid. We have a kid. He's your nephew, Luke. And Luke's like, oh, cool, I have a nephew. Is he strong in the Force? Oh, hell yeah, he's strong in the Force. Okay. And they're like, you want to train him? Okay. So now Luke's training his nephew. Everything's good, right? You know, trains him how to use the Force. Gets pretty fucking good at it. Everything else like that. Snoke sneaks in there somehow, somewhere, right?
I gotta know what the deal is with that guy.
Oh, God. And whether or not he's actually like 60 feet tall. I doubt it.
Yeah,
but I mean,
no, I don't think
like,
so.
it'd be really cool if he was.
I guess.
That'd be an interesting dynamic, fighting a dude who is a giant.
By the way, he looked terrible in my opinion.
He did.
He looked bad.
Yeah.
Like, probably the single worst thing in the movie.
That's because he was like one of the only like supremely CG elements that they used.
Yeah, whereas, what's her name? Orange chick.
Yeah, she looked good.
She looked pretty good. They made her, like, she was CGI, obviously, but she looked almost realistic to it. But
It could also be, like, we may find out that Snoke's hologram is not actually how he looks.
Oh, fair enough.
Right?
That's possible,
Like,
too,
that's another thing that I was thinking, like, because I thought that his fucking CG looked so terrible, maybe that's not actually him.
Yeah. Also, I guess it was a hologram. It didn't need to look super realistic, I guess.
But, like, maybe it's a holographic avatar that he uses to talk to people to seem more imposing, and that's why it's 60 fucking feet tall, right?
Snoke standing at his, like, Kinect. Xbox off.
Great. Where was I going, though? All right, Luke's timeline-ish, right? So somewhere along those lines, you know, his nephew Ben Solo goes all fucking Snoke raving mad, and...
God damn it.
Yeah, went there.
Ugh.
You know, gets that angry fucking red lightsaber with the crossguard, kills all of Luke's new apprentices, and fucking fucks off. And Luke's like, this is my fault. I have to go away. So he goes on a search for, like, you know, the original Jedi Temple, right? Mm-hmm. Had to have only been, I mean, like, you see him, like, it's not even like, when you see Rey's flash of him after she touches the lightsaber, he's got that same metal hand that he has at the end of the movie, right? Yeah. So I don't think it's been that long.
Yeah.
Right? And you see him, like, touch R2, which is another thing, because, like, R2 was shut down for a while and then came back up. What if Luke was doing that?
I wonder.
Right?
Luke, yeah, because R2 obviously has a connection to Luke. Mm-hmm. Luke could be like, okay, R2, I need you now.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Like, there's a lot of stuff, and, I mean, some of it, they've started adding backstory and stuff, too. Like, I think there's an actual reason now that they have why R2-D2 was shut down for most of the movie and then woke up at the end of it. Something to do with either sensing the completed part of the map that he needed, or the other one was that he just spent that time compiling the map, and he had just conveniently compiled it at that moment. Shit like that, right?
Still
very convenient timing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah, it's entirely possible that, I mean, like, Luke could have been, like, Force telepathy fucking technomancer type shit, right?
Yeah, technomancer.
Yeah. Makes sense. But, yeah, anyway, so, like, where was I going with this? I don't remember. Luke fucks off, leaves R2 with instructions, obviously, whatever they happen to be. Mm-hmm. And then, like I said, it had to be like 5 years tops between then and Kylo Ren, leader of the Knights of Ren, who I hope we get to see the rest of them.
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
That would be a thing to start separating us away from just following the path of Empire.
Yeah.
Is to have the Knights of Ren become like a thing.
Yeah.
Right? That would be cool. That would be very cool. So, yeah. You know, that gives Luke plenty of time to do some other stuff, so Rey could be Luke's daughter.
I guess, yeah.
Right?
There's a significant amount of time there.
But I think if they threw us a curveball and made her somehow related to Obi-Wan, that would be fucking cool.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Like, she's, like, not even related to these assholes. She's, like, fucking Obi-Wan's granddaughter or some shit, or, like, great-granddaughter or something, right?
Yeah.
Because you gotta think, Obi-Wan was old as dicks by the time... Well,
yeah.
I mean, he wasn't really, if you consider prequel trilogy, he's, like... What do you figure? Phantom Menace, he's, like, 20, 25?
Phantom Menace? Yeah, 25 to 28, I'd say.
Yeah.
Then pushing 30.
Yeah, because, I mean, like, it's... Okay, so... How many years after is Attack of the Clones supposed to be?
I have no idea.
I mean, it's supposed to be long enough for Jake Lloyd to turn into Hayden Christensen, so, like...
Okay, so 8 years-ish,
8 to 10 years, yeah, right? So that's... Obi-Wan goes from, I'm going to say 25 to, like, 35, right?
Yeah.
Which, judging by his appearance, makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Revenge of the Sith, then, is only, like, 3 or 4 years later, right? Because the Clone Wars doesn't last very long, right? I think it's about a 3-year war or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So that puts him at, like, pushing 40, right?
Yeah.
20 years later, he's, like, pushing 60, right? Yeah. So he's not really that old, right? But at the same time, I mean...
I'd say that's fairly accurate, though, for him turning from Ewan McGregor into original trilogy Obi-Wan.
Original trilogy Obi...
Fuck.
yeah, going from Ewan to Alec Guinness in 20 years. Yeah, okay, sure. Yeah. He was already starting to look it, so hey, it's all good.
Yeah.
Although I actually think Ewan McGregor wore the beard better.
I
agree. He looked kind of like a scruffy dog. It was great. But yeah, so, I mean, in those 20 years, between him being like, you know, pushing 40 and pushing 60, he totally could have had a kid, right? Yeah. That kid could have then had another kid, right? So let's see, like, maybe at around the same time as Obi-Wan and Luke are fucking traveling to the Death Star and all that other shit, right? Maybe his kid's off somewhere, not really knowing their true destiny or anything else like that, right? And they have a kid, right?
That brings up the question: what caused them to drop Rey off on that planet? Jakku.
Yeah.
Jakku.
Waku. On Planet Pac-Man. Planet Pac-World. No, yeah, what caused them to drop her off with Simon Pegg?
Yeah.
Simon Pegg in a rubber suit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that is a good question, right? And I actually don't have a good theory for that.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's not like you need to be here to hide, because obviously, I mean, it could be, right?
Yeah.
It could be one of those, you need to hide here. You're too important.
True. It could be one of those things.
It'd definitely be a better job than hiding Luke on Tatooine with his fucking family. I mean, you know, in Obi-Wan's defense, Anakin's kind of an idiot, so whatever.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, you know, not even changing his last name, this and that, right? Like, that was stupid. But yeah, so it could be the same kind of deal, only a lot better by, you know, dropping her off on, like, a serious, like, backwater world. Like, every time I saw shots on Jakku, I'm like, it's like Tatooine, but, like, even shittier.
Yeah.
Which both is and isn't weird, considering the last time I saw it, shit was exploding. Right? But,
I guess we can't even come up with a theory because we don't know what Rey's background would have been. Like, we don't know if she's Obi-Wan's daughter. That could lead to a completely different story.
Oh, like Obi-Wan's granddaughter.
Or granddaughter, yeah. So.
Which would be cool. I think that would be great. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I could dig that. I think we can call that segment because I'm a bit worried about the camera turning off.
Yeah, probably a good idea. Segment!